That's right. All right, gentlemen. 96.7 TSA FM. There is Taylor Swift on this Wednesday morning here at the Morning Brew. Weather-wise, a beautiful day coming up, mostly sunny skies. Mid-60s, partly cloudy tonight, dare I say, a little chilly. Low 40s. Right now it is 55 degrees in Greenfield, 53 in Keene, 54 degrees, blue skies and sunshine. Beautiful Wednesday morning outside our waterfront studios as we get ready. Here it comes. The 10th annual Brattleboro Brewers Festival coming up May 28th. We can't wait. Vabec Fields. We'll see you there. Have you got your tickets yet? You better. I tell you what, get some for your friends too. BrattleboroBrewersFestival.com. And a portion of the proceeds from this Brattleboro Brewers Festival will be going to building bridges. We'll have a portion of the proceeds from the ticket sales, and all of the proceeds from the Faith Ford and Toyota Keg Toss will be going to Building Bridges. Building Bridges is a local New England organization that brings friends and veterans together over meals. And I have the good fortune of welcoming into the TSA studios here on this Wednesday morning the Reverend Christopher Carlisle. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Oh, a pleasure. And the commander of the American Legion here in Brattleboro, and I just found out he's Scottish. I should have known that. We say good morning to Dave Finlayson. Good morning, Mr. Finlayson. How are you?
I'm great. Good morning.
Good. Well, welcome, gentlemen, and thank you for your participation in this event coming up on May 28th. Reverend Carlisle, tell me about Building Bridges. Tell me what it is and where it is.
Well, Building Bridges is actually a network of currently 10 sites that are either weekly or monthly. Our veteran communities gather around a meal, mostly lunches, but a dinner in the case of Brattleboro, the last Tuesday of every month, and we have sites as far afield as Swansea, Massachusetts, Pittsfield, Keene, up and down the 91 corridor in western Massachusetts. And really, it's an initiative that strives to address veteran social isolation and to gather veterans to be a community together. Veterans know an experience that most civilians do not know, and so we invite them to be together and to and also to bring family members because, as you know, social isolation is a really devastating experience, and one that is experienced very frequently by veterans.
Now, it seems simple in its presentation, but I think the simplicity of it makes it really amazing that you bring veterans together and you share a meal, and I assume you're talking and sharing your experiences.
Right, and in my case, as a non-veteran, I just get out of the way. Hosting, Jonathan Shea, who's a well-known writer and psychologist who has worked with veterans for years, says that as a psychologist, he has no place in the room beyond hosting other veterans who then can interact with one another and do the work of breaking down that isolation.
Dave Finlayson, you're the commander of the American Legion here in town. Just how important is this organization? Obviously, you can testify to the fact that it provides an amazing service, obviously.
You know, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing in that when I was originally approached to give away a free dinner, I didn't think it would be a profitable thing. And what I found was the enthusiasm and the energy and getting the vets together. You get them together and it's just a great bunch of people. It's turned into a self-generating thing. At least 2 people a night will ask me how can they help. No shortage of volunteers. It's growing like, flowers in a garden.
And I would think, obviously, in light of what we just experienced the last 2.5 years, where isolation is even compounded by a pandemic, it must have made a situation for area veterans that much challenging. I won't say worse, but challenging, correct?
Absolutely. One of the things I like about Building Bridges dinners are there's a pastor walking around, there's a service resource officer walking around, and if you want to talk to them, you can. And if you don't have to. And it's just, the resources are there We make things available if you want them, but it's not forced on you. You know, it turns out to be a really good time, a good meal, and it works.
You can't beat it. You
You can't beat it.
Is there anything better than a good meal and good conversation?
Absolutely not.
You know?
And actually, I would say, you know, one of the things that we have come to say over and over again is that that building bridges is the easiest door for a veteran to open. Nothing is expected of them. If they want to come and eat by themselves, that's absolutely fine. If they want to bring a whole cohort of veterans, that's great. If they want to bring family members, that's great. But there's no agenda. And I think that that's sort of been the genius of the initiative and why it is that we're growing so quickly.
Now, there are, in addition to the Legion, which is the physical location here in Brattleboro, how many other locations are there for veterans to visit and share that meal, Reverend Carl?
So there are 9 other sites, and they are located in Elks Lodges, in the case of 3 or 4, and some local civic organizations, several churches. One of the things that we find is that one needs to allow a site to grow organically. In other words, there's no one site that's the template for every other one. And so in the case of Brattleboro, you know, we had heard a lot about what a wonderful organization the Legion was and who Dave was, and so we simply contacted him, and you can sort of measure the energy. Is this going to work or not? Really has to do with the people, and every site has a champion, and Dave and Bob Tortolani are our champions in Brattleboro.
Oh, shucks.
And
Look at that. Look at Dave is blushing over
yeah,
there.
well, but you know, they make it work, and we have a core team that, you know, goes about establishing these sites. But if we didn't have the local champions, we wouldn't have a site.
Now, the next meal here in town, Dave, is May 31st at the Legion, correct?
That's correct. It's going to be a lasagna dinner.
Oh, goodness. Nice.
And I'm really looking forward to it.
Well,
I
yeah.
really am.
Absolutely, and I think it's good to remind veterans, and I'm not telling you either, you gentlemen both know this, that they're not alone, that there are places and people for them to come out and interact with and hang out, maybe share their experiences.
That's right. And in the case, I was mentioning this to Dave, in the case of this coming May Building Bridges site, which is the last Tuesday, the 29th, I believe. No, 31st, sorry, 31st of May. We're going to have Dick Hamilton, who's a World War II veteran, talk about his experience having to jump out of a plane to via parachute, and then being in a German farmer's field and having to defend himself. You know. So,
What was his age too? And you imagine?
Yeah, I mean,
Can you
how old
imagine
is
that
it
age?
now? Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't dare guess.
Yeah.
I don't want to insult anybody.
Yeah.
But apparently he's a legend in Brattleboro, and so you will not be disappointed
Fantastic.
in hearing his stories.
Greatest generation ever. Fantastic. Well, again, we will be able to have you folks meet everybody. May 28th has Building Bridges. We'll be at the Brattleboro Brewers Festival, and there is a website for you to find out more information. Simple enough, Building Bridges Veterans, all one word, buildingbridgesveterans.org. Looking forward to seeing you on the 28th, I think, for a little bit, Dave. And will we see you, Reverend Carlisle?
I'm going to give it a shot. We're supposed to go up to Montreal.
Okay.
So
Are you gonna toss a keg, maybe? Because are you allowed to? Sure, you can, right?
But to bring it over.
So you can just bring it over to the
Yeah,
event, right?
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No. But again, People's Pint will be on hand, and a cohort of Building Bridges veterans will be there as well.
buildingbridgesveterans.org. The Reverend Christopher Carlisle, thank you for your time and a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Thank you. I really appreciate
And
it.
Dave Finlayson, I'm only 6% Scottish, but nice to meet you, my Scottish friend. All right. And the next Building Bridges dinner here in Brattleboro, May 31st. At the American Legion. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. Get your tickets for the Brattleboro Brewers Festival. It's sneaking up on you. BrattleboroBrewersFestival.com. 8:26 here at the Brew.
96.7